So it looks like Sketo is getting ready.
RTA はかなり忙しくて奏者の負担が大変重いので解説が困難ということで解説は私がメイン
He
で
does have both DLCs installed. That will not affect the run at all.
初めに軽くゲーム紹介ということで
There is a DLC and no DLC filter if you look at speedrun.com, but for any percent, it makes no difference basically. I think it actually makes the first cutscene after the first shrine slightly longer, but it's such a small difference that it's not really worth it to uninstall DLC to run any percent. Fancy French speedrun, I'm glad you mentioned that. French, well, European French is actually the fastest language for any percent. Basically because of a mixture between text boxes and voice acting. Text boxes don't make a huge difference if I'm not mistaken. It's mainly the voice acting that's faster. And even then in any percent, it's not a huge difference. Seems like Sketo is ready to go. And off we go. So, like I was saying, European French is the fastest language for any percent. Doesn't make a huge difference. I think that the difference between the fastest language and the slowest language is 4 seconds. So, not a big difference, but obviously, sketodara, being a top runner, runs in French. And as you can also notice, the timer is not starting. That's basically because this cutscene is not entirely consistent. There can be very small differences. Sometimes it lasts, I don't know, 1 minute and 2 seconds, 1 minute and 1 second, 1 minute and 3 seconds, etc. So we decided to start the timer from gaining control of Link to avoid including this cutscene in the timer. Yeah, German used to be the fastest until recently. There was a patch that implemented BR mode, and that basically made Switch faster, which is why Sketo is playing on Switch. And it also made European French faster. Yeah, again, it's a very small difference. So even between German and French, the difference is less than 1 second. So now, as you can see, Sketo is getting the Shika Slate. Just a basic item of the game. It will let you store runes. It is very important in the main story, I guess, but for any percent, it will only really be useful for this one trick coming up. So basically, you're supposed to watch a bunch of cutscenes, but instead, Sketo will run up this wall and position his camera in a very specific way while spamming the slate. What happened there is that when he used the slate, he turned Link around perfectly, like a 180-degree angle approximately. And since there was no space in that corner for Link to stand in, he will just clip through the wall. And he will get back in bounds by crouching and getting up right away. So now you would normally be required to go to the tower, but since there's clipping in this game, we can simply clip into the shrines instead of getting the tower. So we don't need the tower, it's a 3-minute cutscene, it's very long, and we will just clip into shrines. Sketodara is going for a very interesting route, basically because you want to grab an axe and a shield. There's basically 2 shields you can grab. One is the pod lead, which is the safest option because you can grab that and food. And there's also the Boko shield option, which is this one. Sketo will be taking half a heart every 10 seconds because of cold damage. So not only is he taking cold damage right now, he's also going for a shield in this camp. And in order to get the shield, he will have to hit a Boko twice, get the shield, and then go to another Boko, hit it twice, and get the bow. This strat is definitely riskier because you're relying a little bit more on Bokolin behavior. As you can see, the Bokolin is currently aiming at Sketo. Let's see what he does. He's going to do a shield jump, dodges the arrow, and gets the bow. Very, very nice. Definitely a riskier strat, but faster. Very well done.
で、崖を登れば寒さダメージが入らなくなるんですけど、この通りギリギリです。これでも。で、この始まりの大地
So yeah, that's a 7-second time save, and again, it's a risky strat, but a player of Skedo's caliber can definitely pull it off. So now he's gonna be jumping at a very specific point of the shrine to get something called skew, which will let him clip through a shrine, since Link's model will basically move in a very specific way mid-shield jump, which lets him clip through the polygons in the shrine. So like I was saying, normally you would go get the tower, watch 3 minutes of cutscenes, and that lets you enter the shrines normally. Clipping into shrines is slightly slower, but you're basically saving 3 minutes worth of cutscenes just by skipping the tower. So in the end, it ends up being faster. Yeah, so far, very, very solid run from Skedo. First strike clip and perfect Boko shield, basically. Like I was saying, it's definitely a treat to see a Skedo play. So now he's going to be getting his first rune, the Stasis rune. This rune basically not very useful, except for this shrine. Plateau is kind of a tutorial. You get the runes, and inside these shrines, they basically teach you how to use the runes. The only real thing that we do in this shrine that could be considered like a speedrun strat is this. Sketodara is going to be doing a shield jump. You're supposed to stasis that boulder, hit it a couple of times so that it moves away, but you can simply shield jump and bypass all of that. Again, Plateau is this kind of tutorial where they teach you how to use the runes. One important thing is that at the end of each shrine, you're going to get an orb. Basically, once you get all 4 orbs, you will be able to get the paraglider. And one very important thing about the paraglider is that you can't really get out of Plateau without the paraglider. So in this speedrun specifically, there was a glitch found recently, but in this speedrun specifically, we can't skip Plateau because we need the paraglider. And in order to get the paraglider, Sketodara will have to complete all 4 shrines. So right now, Sketodara is just talking to the old man. He's telling him to complete all 4 shrines. And as when the game picks up a little bit, we're going to see one of the most important tricks in Breath of the Wild. So Sketodara is now going to use Stasis. He's going to ride this boulder all the way up. He basically wants to get to this Boko camp coming up. And he's going to perform a trick called Bullet Time Bounce. Bullet Time bounces, well, you will see once he performs the trick. He will enter Bullet Time. The Boko unfortunately noticed him. That is very unfortunate. So basically, Bullet Time bounces. In order to perform them, you need to enter Bullet Time. And when you enter Bullet Time, every interaction is slowed down by 20 times. Except bouncing on ragdolling enemies. And since bouncing on ragdolling enemies happens at normal speed, once you exit Bullet Time, the speed of the bounce gets multiplied by 20. It is a very precise trick, as you can see. Bullet time timing is crucial. Bullet time is basically when you pull the bow midair. The trick greatly depends on where you pull the bow. If you pull it a little bit too late, you don't get enough height. If you pull it too early, you get too much height and you might go nowhere. So definitely a very hard trick to perform. Yeah, so that's actually a really good observation, player 5. I completely forgot about that. There's Sketodara also does a small variation of the normal setup we use. It gives you a slightly better angle. So now, instead of doing the clip he performed at Stasis, he's going to do something called extended shield clip, which will let him clip through the door, as you just saw. And he basically does a shield clip, and then midair performs another shield clip. It's a frame perfect trick. The reason why you basically do a shield jump and then perform another one midair is because the door has 2 layers, so you are technically clipping through 2 walls Fairly precise trick, but sketodara gets it second try. Very nice. Yeah, you can get the skill from either snow or the rocks. I think that sketodara prefers rock because you basically climb into it, so it gives you like more or less consistent positioning. So now he's going to be getting his second rune, which is Cryonis. Basically creates a nice block out of water. As you can notice, the block is going up, and now he will use the upwards momentum from the block to basically skip part of the shrine. The trick is called cryo jump. You basically take the upwards momentum from the Cryonis block, and you can basically go over that wall. The reason why he equips a shield is because it gives you a little bit of extra height. Yeah, and as you can notice, another important detail is that sketodara is not skipping that last cutscene right away. That's basically because if you wait until the text disappears, like the text on screen disappears, that makes the loading afterwards slightly faster. Well, not slightly faster, it's actually like 5 seconds faster. It's a pretty significant time save, I would say. Wow, very nice VTV. That one is one of the most precise ones. Like I was explaining earlier, where you pull the bow is very, very important. And that one is one of the most precise VTVs because not only do you need height, you also need a lot of speed. One thing he also did there is that, I don't know if you noticed, but after Cryonic Shrine, he actually swung his axe. He basically activated the slate at the same time as he swung the axe, which basically stores the slate animation, which is what you saw basically when he reached the shrine. He pressed D-pad in order to activate the slate animation that was stored, which makes Link open the slate and makes him blind immediately. Yeah, very nice. That BTV requires a lot of speed and a decent amount of height, so the window you have to pull the bow there is very, very tight.
アンロード引けませんでした。
引きませんでした。今は、アンロードっていうこの BTV で早すぎて祠の入り口がロード間に合わなくて。
So now sketodara is going to be getting Magnesis, which again is not really a rune that we use too much in any percent. Again, the shrines are basically just tutorials like teaching you how to use the runes. So for the most part, there will not be too much happening here. There's gonna be another shield jump over here. You're supposed to grab the bridge and pull it all the way over there, but you can simply shield jump over it. Yeah, it's a third shrine, only one left. Once we get all 4 shrines again, we get the paraglider and we can finally exit Plateau. This is the main reason why Keto is doing all shrines inside Plateau. So now coming up is bombs. These are pretty interesting splits. There's something called box walk. He will basically stasis the box, hit it 4 times, aim a little bit upwards, not too far up. He definitely wants the box to go forward. There you go. He basically just walks backwards and he's able to ride the box all the way over to this Bokoblin camp where he will once again BTB. It's a perfect one. That BTB is one of the most lenient ones. The only problem is how the Bokoblins move. Basically, how the Bokoblins move is greatly determined by where you land from that box walk. Sketodara landed at a very good spot, so he had no trouble whatsoever. So now he's going to be clipping again. As you can notice, unlike stasis for Magnesis and bombs, he had to do 2 clips, one to get into the shrine and then another one to get into the elevator. Luckily, the skill you get outside of the shrine works for both of them. So there's no problem in that aspect. So now he's going to be getting bombs. Bombs is a very important room because there's a trick called Wind Bomb. Wind Bomb works in a pretty similar way to bullet time bounces in the sense that he will basically drop one bomb, enter bullet time, drop a second bomb, then detonate the first one, and when the first one detonates, it will push the second bomb, and that second bomb will push Link and make him exit bullet time, which will send him flying, as you will see now. Sketodara is actually doing a trick called, oh, beautiful. He's actually doing a trick called Gamer Wind Bomb. And normally what you would do there is just go to the side and Wind Bomb, like, kind of close to Monk, but not really. You will land like all the way down there. You will have to climb up a little bit, but Sketodara basically climbed the peg and performed a Wind Bomb in a way that lets him avoid the roof and go straight to the Monk, which is fairly precise because you can easily hit the roof, which will send you downwards right away. So yeah, it actually is a gamer Wind Bomb. Very nice. We're off, yeah. No, again, that's a really hard trick to perform, so very nice from Sketodara. So Sketo is running any percent amiibo. The difference between amiibo and no amiibo is that he won't need to pick up ingredients from this tree and from some castle boxes. Normally in no amiibo, you need to pick up a beetle here. Sketodara, since he's running amiibo, he just wind bombs all the way to a tree, and now he will be performing a tree launch. He will be climbing this tree all the way to Temple of Time. And again, he's running amiibo, so the difference between no amiibo and amiibo is that with amiibos, you can spawn some fishes, and you can use those fishes to cook an attack potion. The attack potion is crucial for this run because we are going to be doing a boss rush. So since he's doing amiibo, he won't need the beetles from this tree or the bananas from a trading castle. So now he will be attempting one of the tightest BTBs in the game. This one is frame perfect because you need as much stamina as you can. Basically, remember that when you pull the bow midair, you're wasting a lot of stamina. So you need to pull the bow last second here if you want to make it all the way to castle. So let's see. Oh, looking good. Yeah, perfect. So again, that BTV is incredibly precise. It's frame perfect. You need to pull the bow on the last possible second to have as much stamina as possible in order to make it all the way to castle. So now again, he's doing amiibo, so he won't need to go to any room to grab any ingredients for his attack potion. He will simply go straight into dining hall, and he will simply scan some amiibos to get his fishes. This run has changed a lot in the past year and a half, I would say, with wind bombs and BTV optimization. So as you can see, he's switching to his amiibo rune. He will drop here, scan his amiibos. He's basically looking for either carps or porgies. Carps are yellow fishes, porgies are red fishes. And he will need those to cook the attack potion. Basically, this castle segment will greatly be just picking up items and getting ready for the boss rush. He will just be picking up weapons, arrows, and ingredients for his attack potion. That chest was very scary. That can actually... Well, luckily, Skedo didn't take too much damage from his wind bomb to the tree, but that chest can actually kill you. What is his tag? Oh yeah, that's amiibo. Yeah, you're right, player 5. He used one Revalia amiibo. plus Mifa / Toon Link to get the fishes. The Revali amiibo basically gives you a banana, which also helps when you cook your attack potion. So right now, again, he's picking up items, getting ready to get to the boss rush. He's going to be getting some arrows from this crate. It's looking like his RNG was really good. The amount of arrows dropped by these crates is completely random. You can get 5 arrows or you can get 40 pretty much. So it does look like his RNG was really decent. Again, in no amiibo you get some extra crates, so amiibo is always scary in the sense that you don't break too many crates to get arrows. But I think that Sketo will definitely take those arrows. So right now what he's doing is he's going to be dropping a bomb. And what that does is that enemies get greatly distracted by bombs, as you just saw there. Basically, the Alphas went from looking at Sketo to just ignoring him and looking at the bomb. What that does is that when enemies are distracted, you can basically do something called a sneak strike, which basically makes Link deal 20 times the damage of the weapon. So you can pretty much one-shot enemies that way. Now he's going to be cooking the ingredients he picked up from his amiibos and the razor shroom he picked up in dining hall to create a level 3 attack up meal. The reason why the attack up meal is crucial is not only because of the damage buff that it gives us, it's also because in this game durability is a thing, so weapons will break. So the damage buff is not only good because it's a damage buff, but also because it let us pick up less weapons and it makes castle very, very fast. So as you can see, Sketo did 2 wind bombs and now he's setting up something called Windblade Skip. He will basically be shooting an arrow as he enters the cutscene. And the interesting thing about it is that the arrow's hitbox will remain active throughout the cutscene. So right now the arrow is mid-air and it's hitting Windblade repeatedly. So as you can see now, Windblade's model will move like crazy, and that's just the arrow constantly hitting Windblade. And Windblade is dead, just like that. So yeah, it's called Windblade Skip basically because the arrow just hits Windblade repeatedly throughout the cutscene and basically one-shots him. Requires a fairly precise setup, and again, you need to shoot the arrow as you enter the cutscene. So now sketodara will be performing the boss rush. Basically, since we didn't beat any dungeon, we will have to beat the bosses from all the dungeons plus Calamity at the end, all in a row. And the scary thing about this is that if you die at any point of this fight, you will have to start over from the beginning. So Keto can't afford any mistakes here. A lot of the attacks will one-shot you, so gotta be careful. We will be using a lot of spins. Again, weapon durability is a thing. Weapons will break. The weapon routing is super calculated. So he will be spinning 3 times here. 1, 2, 3. Slam to knock him down, and then he will be switching to Royal Guard Sword. He breaks it to finish first phase. The important thing there is that he throws a weapon because it deals double the damage of the weapon. And basically, all the extra damage you deal from phase 1 transfers to phase 2. So like if phase 1 is like, I don't know, if Fireblight has 4000 HP, for example, phase 1 will be 2000 HP, second phase will be 2000 HP. If Sketo does 2100 HP, that 100 HP will transfer over to second phase, and he will only need to deal 1900 damage on second phase, which definitely helps with this one cycle, for example. Again, Sketo will be mainly trying to spin and then releasing in order to slam, which knocks down blights. He will just rinse and repeat. And Blights is basically like an execution test,
なかなか早いケースですね。
and it greatly relies on two-handed weapons,
かなり早いですよね。ちょっと
since you can knock down Blights with spin attacks and slams, and with headshots too.
ブーメランで相手を
So now sketodara is going to be hitting Thunderlight 4 times to break the shield, and then he will just spin to win.
ここは受け身で削るから4体目のカースガノン
Those were the 4 Blights, and now he's going to go to
最後のボス
Calamity.
戦です。早いですね。
Calamity is a very interesting boss in the sense that you always have to be adapting to how he moves,
さあ第一形態はとにかく
and the way you fight greatly depends on the arrows you have to.
こいつ HP が
So Sketo will mainly be trying to spam arrows as much as he can. Basically, you can deal the highest damage per second by just spamming arrows and getting headshots. Headshots are really, really strong in this game. Not only because they knock down blights, also because they deal double the damage of the ball plus whatever arrow he's using. So again, he will try to be getting headshots, trying to stay away from Calamity ideally. I think he has very decent arrows, so he definitely wants to spam arrows instead of flurry rushing.
素晴らしいヘッドショットです。さあ薬剤ガノン
Oh, using the ad draft, interesting. He used the ad draft there to enter bullet time and get an easy headshot. When Calamity goes to the wall, you can get him down with either 2 bomb arrows or 1 headshot from the bomb arrow. Since he doesn't have insane arrow RNG, he chooses to enter bullet time and get the headshot to just get him off the wall quickly.
ラッシュで
So now he will be performing 1 quick flurry rush
いやーこれいい
since he was low on arrows, and
さあ第二
that will finish phase 1.
レーザーで
So now he's basically running away from Calamity because Calamity has a shield up. He definitely wants a laser. When you parry a laser, Calamity will lose his invulnerability.
殴って岩
And now he will be performing something called a stunlock. Basically, Sketo will be releasing this spin attack when Calamity is about to regain his shield. So basically what he's doing is hitting Calamity when he's quote-unquote on his shield because of the slam.
切りますで僕
And the game will basically think that Calamity is getting hit while he's invulnerable, therefore he's supposed to lose his shield.
だからもう僕ファイナルソードのブラックドラゴン戦見てめちゃめちゃ笑っちゃいました
So basically Sketo will just be repeating this over and over again until he's dead.
削り切れました
Very, very smooth Calamity.
ここまでは失敗するともう本当にタイムロスがすごいんで
Wow, that was a very nice
二
fight.
人ですごい緊張してたんですけどね
I think he had decent arrows, but he didn't have crazy RNG and he adapted very well.
クリアしたも同然です最後あれもう一個あるじゃんって思った方いるかもしれないですけどこれほとんどムービーみたいな
So now the last boss of the game is Dark Beast.
運動
There's not much going on with this one.
そのゼルダの掛け声に合わせて馬に乗って
For the most part, it's an auto-scroller. You have to wait for Zelda to talk. Then some targets will appear on his side, and Sketo will basically have to shoot those targets with the ball of light, which he just got.
さあゼルダのセリフ怨念で覆って怨念だから
Looking at it, yes, it should definitely be at 27.
みたいなことを言ってますさあ
It should definitely be at 27, which, by the way, is very impressive.
固定化したいので
Very, very impressive. I'm pretty sure that's a top 10 time,
左側に回ります
even with the problems he had at the beginning of the run. So, that was definitely a super solid run by Sketo.
そうですね相手の動きが
His second half, especially, was really, really
レ
solid.
ーザー撃ち終わったら光の撃つ場所が現れるなのであらかじめ出る場所に置いていきますそしてスローで残りの2箇所当ててあとこれが2セットですねもう終わりも近づいてきましたね
There, Sketo,
なるべく動かない
the second set of 3 targets. Now, he just needs one more belly shot, and we will be looking at the end of the run.
さあ今度光の撃つ場所が出るのはお腹なので
All of these targets appear on the same spots for the most part. The only thing that can change is on what side they appear, and that is basically It's just based on whatever side is closest to Link. So
終わりが近づいてきました。上昇気流がレーザーで打っているので、
all of these shots are pretty much the same. Now Sketo is going to be riding the updraft from the laser,
魔獣
and
の
he's going to be looking at
壁があります。それが開いて
the eye that will appear shortly. Timing ends when he hits the eye. And time. Actually at 27:59. Wow. That's actually amazing.
早いですねこれ。
But again, that's a very impressive time. Like, yeah, there's nothing to say about it. Very solid run. That's, if I'm not mistaken, top 10.
どれぐらい早いかっていうと、
That's insane. That's an insane
こ
marathon
の記録
time.
に勝ってる人いない。
Very, very nice run by Sketo.
そうですね。
GG's.
なんと一発ランで日本一位、自分の記録が多分一番早いんですけど、それ除いたら日本一位の記録ですねこれ。それくらい早いですね。
Yeah, very nice showcase by Sketo. That was 80% Amiibo.
ケイトダラさん。
I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was a very, very nice run.
感想を聞きたいんですけど
Super clean.
そうですね。
He also went for like pretty risky strats, considering it was a marathon.
可
So
能性から
definitely an interesting run to watch.
ちょっと僕はちょっとね麻痺してしまってるんで。
I would be 8th. We can look it
や
up.
っぱ悔しいとしたら最初の
Yeah, it was a great showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
それがなかったら
Breath of the Wild has a great
それ
community
が
in
なかったら
case
ちょっと
anyone is interested in speedrunning.
いいペースが
I would definitely recommend it as a speed game.
いやすごい記録
The community is definitely very
この
helpful.
記録も
So
さっき言った通り日本一位。この記録に勝ててる日本奏者いない。
definitely recommend
かなり上位の記録です。
giving it a shot. It is indeed
他にまだなんか感想をちょっと一旦落ち着きますか。ちょっとじゃあ
it is 9th place.
ピクさん
Yeah, he went for Boko Shield. He did Gamer Wing
ちょっ
Bomb.
とゆっくりしてます。
He definitely did a lot of
僕
very, very interesting strats for a marathon race. But I mean, he got all of them,
あ
so
らかじめ資料作ってきたんですけど、A4 用紙
very fun run to watch for sure.
資料を作ってきました。はい、2人で協力して作りました。で、技の説明多くて、すっごい。もう
Yeah, shout out to sketodara for showcasing this
ま
run.
あ楽しんでもらうために、そうじゃん、スケトダラさん
Very nice showcase.
で無事に終えることが
Again,
できたんで
sketodara is
嬉しいです。
one of the best
タイムも
when it comes to Breath of the Wild, so I definitely
しま
recommend
したありがとうございま
giving
した。
him a follow.
で、じゃあ、もうちょっとじゃあ、僕話したいことがあったんですけど。
Yeah, thank you.
ちょっと
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to commentate this.
なんで薬剤ガノンまで
And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this.
薬剤ガノンま
I
で
really hope everyone enjoyed it.
めちゃめちゃ緊張するかっていう話なんですけど、薬剤ガノンでゲームオーバーになったら続きから押した場合は
And yeah,
あ誰だ
not much else to say. I mean, 80% is a very scary category to run in a marathon. You went for risky strats. Again, if you die at any point of the boss rush, you have to start over again. So it's really nerve-wracking.
なので大体薬剤ガノン戦で死んでしまうと
That was a very, very enjoyable run.
で、まあ、6分、7分
And again, shout out to the community.
かなり
We have a very helpful community. Everyone is welcome. Anyone who, got interested by this run,
みたいな話してたんですけど、まあ、2回以上やったらアウト。
make sure to join the Discord if you're interested in speedrunning this game.
内心ヒヤヒヤしながらやってました。ただ、その薬剤ガノン
Yeah.
戦を終えて、万が一魔獣ガノン
Thank
戦
you,
で
Harm.
死んだ
Thank
場
you.
合は、
I appreciate it.
やり直しても魔獣ガノン
Now we get to
戦
see credits.
なんで、薬剤ガノン
These are very fast speedrun for the most part. Again, the fact that Breath of the Wild is an open world game gives you a lot of freedom. You can basically complete the tutorial and go straight to the last boss.
そうですね。まだちょっと顔面のしびれが取れてないんで、そんなこと言うかもしれないんですけど。
はい。
Yeah,
さっき
congrats to Sketo on a great run.
相手はタイムが
Great way to finish.
ねブレはいいだけに
Very strong closer. This was actually the last run of the marathon.
で時間内に
I think we should be proud as a community
嬉しかったです。
of Sketo.
ありがとうございました。
はい。ありがとうございました。
ちょっと
Yeah, that was a very strong way to finish the marathon.
すいません。
いやー
昨日聞いたこと言いたかったですけど。
いや、言って ってましたよ。なんか、タイムがブレるうんぬんって。昨日聞いたこと言って
Yeah, again, thank you for to Speak Gaming
じゃあ
for
時間も
hosting this,
してるん
for
で
letting me
最後
commentate
一つだ
too.
け
I think that
お
it's
知らせ
always
することが
great
あり
to
ます。
showcase Breath of the
今日は
Wild.
この RT を見て、このゲームをプレイ
It's
して
a
くれた
very fun game, has a very active
なんと
community.
情報です。12月30日、12月30日から1月12日23時
And yeah,
50
thank you for thank you to Sketo too.
エンド e ショップにて
I actually did not know that
7678
commentary slots were open, and he let me know. He asked me to commentate, so big shout out to Sketo for letting me know and asking me to commentate. It's actually an honor.
RTA 的にはダウンロード版、スイッチのダウンロード版を、スイッチ本体の内部メモリーにダウンロードしたのが最速なので、ぜひこの機会にね、30% オフの5374円。
Yeah, thank you again. Speak Gaming.
買ってみてください。ということで、からも以上となりましたので、時間も押していることですから、おそらくこの後運営の方々から、お話が
And yeah, make sure to check out the bots. I think that there were plenty of very interesting runs
思います。はい。
in this marathon.
最後の RTA ですが、今日は本当にありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。